Okay. Nobody's joined yet, of course, because I'm
Rita,
late to
late
to being early.
We have 100,000 people literally waiting
they're
to join at
clamoring.
the 3-second mark.
Rita will be here in a second.
Posed. Anytime now, we're going to get that number of eyeballs are going to go up.
Oh no, is
Any
Rita
second now.
gonna throw us over this week? Oh no.
Oh, we got one. Is it Thax? No, it's Mick. What's up, Mick? Thank you for joining us.
I guess I better start. I guess I better just run the thing.
Just run the thing.
Run it.
Okay.
Run that beautiful bean footage.
Ooh.
Well, hello! Once again, you have found a Texas Steampunk Connection, broadcasting to you throughout the multiverse Steamverse from our various bunkers and airships. With me, as always, is Thax, Gentleman Adventurer.
Hello, hello.
With me, Jack from Steam Chest.
Hello.
And we have with us today, Master Blue Stocking from Steampunk Dollhouse Podcast. So once again, we are here to talk, probably about steampunk, most likely, because that's what this is about. Thank you for listening to the Texas Steampunk Connection.
I love that intro. That will never get old.
Nope, it won't never get old. It's perfect. It was set up. It's done. Never change.
Thank you, Flavio, our radio sign-in guy, wherever you are now.
Still signing us in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's on adventures. He's on his airship on adventures. How did everybody survive last week?
Oh man, COVID was fun. Let me
COVID
tell you,
and a freeze. Oh, did y'all get the freeze down there?
And working from home.
Oh yeah.
Did you? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yes. We all got the ice storm. Probably not as bad as you, in North Texas. But there was ice on the road, and
was not fun.
Thursday, I took off work. Just ahead of time. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not coming in tomorrow. Get used to it.
My boss sent us home on Wednesday saying, "Take all your stuff home. We're closing the doors."
Good for him.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's.
My supervisor was like, "What do you mean you're not coming in?" All right. Okay.
Unlike you, I don't have a cot under my desk, Bob.
Well, and people were freaking out on our local group about everyone buying out the stores from food. But I mean, after last year, can you blame people for having PTSD-related shopping?
That's no joke. Yeah, I saw a article headline about people being diagnosed with PTSD from last year's snow and loss of power. And, we talked about that last week. And kind of every...
And it's supposed to get cold again this weekend.
No.
But
it's coming back.
Nobody down here lost power, I don't think. But
good.
Blue Stocking, you said that up where you are, in Denton.
Yeah. I'm in Denton, but in Dallas, Encore Power is, I guess, does a lot of Dallas, and so I think I remember seeing a number of 40,000 had lost power. So Denton, from everything that I could see, Denton ended up being okay. We did have a transformer blow Wednesday night, a couple blocks away from us. It didn't affect our street, so we had a transformer blow when it started to get really cold. But Denton actually, we came through it okay. I mean, the streets were gnarly, but other than that, everything seemed to come through okay. It was Dallas and Fort Worth, and like I said, I think primarily Encore customers that took a big hit with the power, but the water was fine. Although I saw Austin has a water boil notice now. What's that about?
Oh
yeah. Well, we were getting to that. Yeah. But first, Rita's joined us. Rita, did you hear about anybody losing power in your neighborhood? I know she's up in North Texas too.
Yeah, Plano. Oh, I didn't know she was in. Okay, I didn't know you were in Plano, Rita. Okay, yeah, you're very near me.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're able to stay with power, stay with heat, all the important things. So yes, now we are under a boil water notice, which they say has nothing to do with the freeze, but somebody pushed the wrong button and everything went to pot or something. I'm not sure.
Non-potable water was flushed down
Ooh,
drinkable tubes. Apparently,
somebody messed. Oh,
someone got
somebody's out of a
fired.
job. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Rita, I lost a
sorry.
tree branch or two as well.
Yeah, yeah, we did. There was tree branches down around town that I noticed, but if that's the worst of it. But how long are y'all under the boil notice?
Until they tell us we're not.
Until we get the
So-
app blink on these digital devices that tells us we can drink our water without boiling it.
Oh, that's the worst.
I'm being
sorry.
safe and boiling my water before I take a shower.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it still can get in your mouth, so.
I'm just turning my water heater up to like 155. I'm joking.
I've drunk non-potable water for decades. I'm not afraid.
I
At
have
this
so
point
many
in time, you
parasites
are
that
on
don't affect me
non-potable
anymore.
water. You just strain it through the goatee, the mustache.
All the parasites are working in harmony.
Just be like,
everything's okay.
all right, let's drink this water.
I know.
My gut bacteria cannot be beat. Maybe.
Well, I'm happy for you. I hope that works out.
I'll talk to the necrofessor. We could make this a microbial wrestling match for you.
Ew. So many bad places
You
that
just
can go.
zoom in on your on your gut and have like the little microbes beating each other up. Like, then zoom out and you're just sitting there going,
I'm thinking about it.
It'd be great.
No.
I mean, people who like wrestling now all of a sudden it's steampunk microbial matches.
I mean, hey, got to keep things fresh and exciting.
Keyword fresh.
Ew.
Adds a
Not
certain
right.
aroma.
Oh, man.
Where did we go? This is what happens when we don't have a direction.
This is what happens with black ice. You just slip off into the unknown.
Whee! Speaking of the unknown, Valentine's Day is coming up, and so is the Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't
participate in either. So.
So there's this game that comes out. I've been talking to the developer. I've interviewed him. I've been like doing recordings over Discord in this really fuzzy, really terrible resolution. But so I've been like sticking my own like VHS static in it to try to make it feel more like a retro 70s 80s space warfare game. And it comes out on Friday, and all my friends that are involved with willing to play it are like, oh, are you gonna buy it? Like, let's like setting up like times to play it over the weekend. And I'm just like, hey guys, it's Valentine's Day is coming. And they're like, oh, oops, this is something we need to think about.
Aw.
So I apparently saved a bunch of people's relationships.
You are Cupid. Steampunk Cupid.
Can I be reluctant Steampunk Cupid? That would be so much fun. You're like, click.
Don't make me do it.
Or the guy who's just like, what is the worst combination of people I can put together? One
so
night
you woke up
only.
and chose violence. Cupid chose violence on this day, and the world was never the same.
Chose chaos. Oh, there's a long, funny story with Lawrence on an icy roof. No, that's not a long, funny story. That's a very short, funny story.
Oh, that's a
very
Chevy
quick.
Chase story.
Only part about Chevy Chase story is it's funny because I didn't like Chevy Chase.
Oh, I mean, okay, as a human being, no, I do not like Chevy Chase. Christmas Vacation, one of my favorite movies ever. I have to watch it every single year. Will never
I
not make
love
me laugh.
to hate him on the Community.
See, I never watched that, but I heard he was
You need
really,
to watch
really
the Community
horrible.
so bad.
I heard he was just
Or-
atrocious on set, and everybody did not
everybody
get along
hated
with
him, and
him.
that's one reason
Yeah.
he didn't come back later. But they do a great job of kind of working that in as his character on stage with all the other actors too, and so it feels natural. And it's kind of that like, oh, I hate you. See you tomorrow, and he walks out the door kind of thing.
Aw.
So
No
it
fun
works
working
well.
with a method actor when the character he's playing is a jerk.
It pretty much is. It's Chevy Chase if he went back to college and didn't have the money. He didn't have Chevy Chase money.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
I'm wondering if they had him like live on set in an Airstream or something just to give him that extra like
Extra angry.
pissed off at this. Like, you're supposed to be an old guy going back to community college. You're not supposed to be happy about it. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I've heard things about him. I know he's not supposed to be pleasant to work with, but Christmas Vacation, it's, you know.
No, I can understand. There's certain actors that I don't agree with their politics, but I really
Yeah.
enjoy their craft. Or one way I actually got, what was his name? The guy who plays Wesley Crusher on Star Trek. He came out and kind of said,
Will
you know,
Wheaton.
Will Wheaton came out and saying that because there's a whole big deal of a bunch of like a director or two came out and everyone's like, I have a hard time watching that stuff that I used to watch to help me get through, like Buffy being an example. People really liked it, but have a harder time watching it now knowing about the director. And so Will Wheaton came out saying, enjoy it for everybody else that was involved because it made people big. It paid people's wages. They still did well on screen. So don't enjoy it for, the issues, but enjoy it for the reason of everything else that was going on. And I kind of think that did help me not be angry when I watched certain shows and was like, I can't watch this because this guy's a turd in it, or is a turd in real life. Like, that's difficult to swallow sometimes, but easier now that I'm still like, there's, it's still an art form. It's still something I enjoy and want to enjoy.
But also, Will Wheaton also came out in defense of Chris Hardwick when Me Too happened and everything from the nerds. So that is as far as I'm going to go in that. Not going to get political.
It's all right. Whoopi Goldberg said something slightly weird this morning, and then had to come out.
She said something really weird,
and then had to go on to the Tonight Show, the Steve Colbert, and like, let me explain.
Yeah, she's backpedaling real fast. So yeah,
and which I like her, and I understand it was not something that she meant to be bad. It's just from her perspective, I can see where she's coming from. I just don't think it
was phrased bad.
Yeah, and she even's like, I understand it was phrased bad, and I get it. I thought this was a conversation. Apparently, it wasn't, and I'm sorry. don't.
Sorry, Thax. I'm not trying to be political.
No.
Save that for my show. I don't want to.
I don't want to force anybody not to be political in these times. If we don't take a stand on important issues, what are we? So yeah. I'm just sitting here because you guys are saying basically anything I have to say. Like, yeah, she said something real dumb.
She said something real bad.
How that goes through your head to think that, as an adult of 60 years on, how did that work? I don't know.
So
I don't know.
From her perspective, she sees race as color difference. When, as someone who is white, and apparently who has, not me, but my son and my wife have it in their blood to be Jewish, we understand that a little different. And it's a completely different type of ethnic racism, I guess, is a decent way of looking at it.
No,
I don't
is
buy her
because
excuse. She's lived on this earth long enough to understand the nuances of the language and what she knows enough history, or should, to know the history of Judaism and how they were persecuted for centuries as a race.
Yeah,
there is no such thing
literally as racial cleansing
races as humans scientifically. So what
honestly, it still comes from the whole colonialism thing too, where we really were certain powers pushed it to make, to take advantage of other peoples of other culture so they could roll in, take the land and take whatever was be able to, do there. And it's really easy to say, hey, you look different, therefore, you're not entitled. And it just changes everything. And kind of throw a steampunk flair on that. It's kind of the whole like, everyone looks at fairies. Ooh, fairies and elves. Ooh, they're all cute and fuzzy. And then goblins, you're like, oh, that's a little,
Yeah.
sub.
Well, and that's and I try not to talk
Are
about.
we paralleling goblins and the Jewish
Look at
people?
Lord of the Rings. There is some obvious
it's
racial
real
stuff
uncomfortable.
going on there.
The orcs, Tolkien had a definite issue when he created the
and
orcs.
not just
versus
orcs, but the Orcikai, which were the better orcs, the closer to
And-
humans
yeah.
because
Hold on
they
a
were
second.
taller.
Hold on. Who are we comparing orcs to through Tolkien?
We're just
It had more to
comparing
do
them
with
as a difference.
It had more to skin color. The differences of the dark is bad, the light is good.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the difference.
get
And
that.
I mean,
good, tall, and more
know.
human-like.
yeah. So that I mean,
all science fiction fantasy writers, well, not all, but it is an easy thing to fall into as a writer to sort of maybe not consciously, but make these parallels to your fantasy races
Mhm.
and other human cultures. Tolkien is an easy target in this case, and I never really even thought about how the parallels of Tolkien's dwarves and the Jewish people are there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, and also J.K. Rowling's the goblins. That was where a lot of people lost. That was where a lot of people got upset because the goblins in J.K. Rowling's, they hoarded gold and they ran a bank, and there was a whole lot of anti-Semitic tropes
Big noses,
involved,
etc.
That
Right.
that was a huge problem, and it's just everything's problematic. I mean,
but if you look at any other
Rowling,
goblin
wanting to make excuses for her, but those tropes were established by the time she was writing her books.
But
goblins are known for
hoarding
hoarding gold and being short with big noses.
She may just not have been,
Have you seen her?
As aware? Okay. I don't know.
I've seen her Twitter. The woman is very aware of what she's doing.
Okay. Well, that is unfortunate.
I dislike when people take certain designs though that are like in D&D, or I'm going to say prehistoric when it comes to the type. Like when you think of goblins, the first things you think of are greedy little green dudes that want to go around and take your stuff, and she's using that and tying it in with a narrative that is nasty. So
I mean, tropes exist for a reason. I've talked about this on my blog a lot with the fairy tales and folklore. I mean, they come from somewhere, they arise from something, people's opinions, I mean, did the post that I did about Little Red Riding Hood. That was entirely about don't talk to strange men because they're gonna take your virtue. That is entirely what that story was about.
Dressed up as your grandma.
It was about it was literally solely and completely about don't trust strange men, because the story exists in almost every continent and country that you can imagine, and it's all about little girls, virginal teenage girls, talking to strange men and being led astray until nobody wants them. So we can continue these tropes or we can break out of them. That's why I like fractured fairy tales, because they break out of those tropes and they show a different side. Like on Once Upon a Time, where Red, Little Red Riding Hood, Red is also the wolf. She's literally a werewolf. It's breaking that trope.
I love Once Upon a Time, and I know to a degree it was, they have they had a large cast, but they still had a limited cast. So they told a lot of the same stories using already existing characters, and they did it in such a really good way. I can't really think of one individual that was bad that didn't really work out, because sometimes the good guy, was the bad guy in the next episode or a couple episodes later, depending on the plot lines. And
everybody is worthy of redemption was what and Snow White and Prince Charming always saved each other. They continually saved each other.
Yep.
It wasn't just him saving her. So,
And Hook was a badass. Yeah.
He was. He was fabulous. He was
great.
Yeah.
Like
But
I
I
now
mean,
have.
again, playing with
Oh,
tropes, like
yep.
turning, Rumpelstiltskin into the crocodile. And I didn't even,
That
and
was
from the first
fantastic.
season, he wore that crocodile outfit from the very
Mhm.
first season. And Hookwood didn't come in until season 3, I
3
think.
or 4. Yeah, it was pretty far in
Yeah.
there, and so they had that planned out a long time
Yes.
ahead for
Yeah,
him.
there was like a 5-season arc. So yeah, I love that. That is one of my favorite things. I love when people take fairy tales and show the truth behind them, or just like Grimm does the same thing, or just cracks them apart. And they do little references to things that are so old that you don't realize that they're actually part of it. So
Yeah.
sorry, we
That's
wandered off of steampunk.
No, we're still within the purview of
True.
steampunk. It's
True.
just it's a lot more that's the right word for it. A lot more in our zone of what we're talking about than just straight current events. So,
True. And I don't know if y'all saw the thing about Peter Dinklage and his what he had to say about Cinderella. Well,
I didn't.
Okay, Peter Dinklage came out about the new Cinderella that is going to have a Latina actress as Cinderella, which is fine. It's great. But his issue was that Disney is saying we're progressive by having Latina Cinderella, but we're still going to have dwarfs who toil in the mines and take care of I'm sorry, Snow White, who toil in the mines and take care of Snow White. And he was not like he was pissed off about it. He brought it up that Disney thinks that they're progressive, but they're still going with this. And my point when I tweeted about this was there's a lot of, if they did this, Snow White is old. It exists. One of those that exists everywhere. And there's an Italian version where she's taken in by 7 robbers, not 7 dwarfs. So and that would be like super cool, right? That would be, she's taken in by 7 robber pirate guys. Yes. So yeah, there's different things that they can do. If they want to break out and do something interesting, Snow White has a lot of variations, but people were freaking out because all they know is Disney Snow White.
I did see a Snow White version where she was taken in by 7 robbers who are also little people.
I mean,
the thing is that
we're bridging.
This gets more complicated because there was a lot of blowback from the little people community.
The whole thing is very complicated. Yes.
To say, hey, he doesn't speak for us. Generally, he doesn't speak out for the little people community. And we want jobs with Disney. And he's blowing it.
That was
ruining our one thing we've got.
Yeah, that was what we would call a very complicated.
We're waiting for them to redo Wizard of Oz.
Honestly, it's not my place to tell a person with dwarfism what they should or should not be. Like I said, the only reason I weighed in, I didn't weigh on one way or the other. All my point is that if Disney wants to do a Latina actress as Snow White, why not also, if you're going to break that mold, break another mold, go with a different version of the story. You don't have to stick with a loose version of because that's what it's even what they did was a loose version of the Grimm story to begin with.
Yeah.
So if you're going to break one mold, do another one. I
wasn't with like really tall guys. Then a whole bunch
there's
of really
a lot of
big,
different versions of that
dudes.
story. I wasn't going to jump into the dwarfism conflict because that is not my place.
You're right. I don't have a horse in this race either. I just want to be respectful of people's, feelings. But I don't want to rob 7 little actors of jobs because we're trying to break molds.
Yeah.
If that's not necessary, it's hard to navigate. I don't know what.
Don't worry, I think they're trying to put Ewoks back in Star Wars. There'll be plenty of work.
Shut up. Which again because Warwick Davis, speaking of which, actually has a very different view of the whole thing. So that's why all I said was different variations. My point was Disney is not canon. Because if you want to go with Little Mermaid, all you have to do is look at Little Mermaid. That story's not in happy.
Story.
That story does not. That was Hans Christian Andersen. Not a happy ending.
Although, if you watch the Disney Mermaid, the more and more the older and older I get, the more and more I agree with King Triton. It's just like, stay underwater. Don't be stupid.
Leave the humans alone.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like it when the fairy tales go in a bit of a different direction and go with some of the other variations. Everyone has put Grimm as canon, and it's not, because Sleeping Beauty, not Grimm, by the way. Grimm didn't
Really?
write Sleeping Beauty. No, it's Charles Perrault.
Oh, dirt.
Charles Perrault actually did Sleeping Beauty. He created Snow White, or Red Riding Hood, and Beauty and the Beast. Those are not Grimm. Those are Charles Perrault that he wrote in the 17th century for French nobles at the court.
That makes sense.
Very different. So Disney, not canon. We can break out of that.
Nice.
See, you got me rambling.
If you'd like to know more,
Make her ramble some more by posting more
Beth
stuff in
writes
the
about
comments.
fairy tales when she has time.
No,
Blue
this is
Stocking has
fantastic.
her own blog that she's put on hiatus because of school, but she's got a lot written about fairy tales and interpretations and versions of them, and she's a very interesting writer with a sort of y'all kind of writing style, which I really like. I was going to bring that
Lots
up
of
as one of
vulgarities.
these days, but what the heck, here it is.
Lots of
I'm going to
vulgarities.
learn you
if you can-
something in steampunk.
You're damn right. I'm just saying, fairy tales are beautiful, but there's a whole lot going on.
grab your Kraken. We're gonna learn something tonight.
There's a lot of medieval sociopolitics and gender politics going on in them. And, for some people, they don't need to crack it open. They're happy, and that's good. But for people that are interested, it's there. Yes,
And I
my
think
husband
that-
is supporting me. I'm the Molly
I
Ivans of
know.
Steampunk. I'm just
I
telling
think-
the truth, y'all.
I think medieval fairy tales fit very well into the Victorian background. The
Mhm.
Victorians were really into fairy tales, and they had their own
Yes.
ideas of fairies, which didn't quite jive with earlier stories, but whatever. That's something that can definitely fit into this genre and into personal interests of people who are watching the show. So I don't see a problem.
Well, and we make new fairy tales every day. I mean, fairy tales pop up, and we don't necessarily see them as that way until later. Urban legends turn into folklore. That's how folklore starts. Is urban legends that people are passing around, and then it gets codified into folklore. So we have new fairy tales that we set down and codify, and that's good. That's really good. Like what is the show we were just talking about on Amazon with the fairies?
Carnival Row.
Carnival Row. That's
last
a fairy tale.
episode.
I mean, it qualifies it's steampunk, and it qualifies as a fairy tale. So who knows what gets set down into later traditions. So,
Sure.
it just takes word of mouth. It moves along. I mean, things are different now because of the internet, and we're not telling stories around the fire in our villages, but
Oh, I don't know that I do. I don't know that I agree with you there.
our villages are a little
definitely-
bigger now.
They are different, yes.
Yeah,
but there
It's
are
a different
definitely
medium.
there are definitely individuals telling stories to other individuals
Mhm.
through the internet rather than around a fire, and that's where we get like the Slender Man and
Exactly.
a lot of modern weird stories and cryptid tales and things that are adding to our fairy tale you know
Yeah, I
body
mean,
work.
it's weird because one of the things I wrote about was Hans Trap, the Christmas scarecrow. And the dude was just a guy in Germany who was a knight and had a fight with the Pope. And within 2 centuries, not even that 1 century, he was a scary boogeyman who was going to kill everybody. He was going to kill children at Christmas. And he's a special and really interesting case because we have the actual factual guy that we can find and the folklore. Within 1 century, because he had a fight with the Pope, he turned
He's
into
there.
a boogeyman who's going to eat children. So folklore is weird.
Yeah. Well, it's like, speaking of folklore, Lex, her character is a Rizalka, and you don't really think, and there's different variations of Rizalkas all over the place, but it's yet again highly Russian folklore, and there's just not enough of that story running around. Someone needs to redo that. That'd be fun. I'm not
Some
totally
people
sure how
have
you would
done.
turn it into a digital age, but
There are some fractured Russian fairy tales. The authors are a little questionable, but I can. Yeah, Naomi Novik and what's the guy that wrote Ender's Game?
Orson
Yeah,
Scott Card.
he wrote actually a really good reinterpretation of Sleeping Beauty, a Russian version of Sleeping Beauty, but I have issues with him, obviously. But Naomi Novik has two based on Russian fairy tales and Kashi the Deathless. So, it's just, Russian fairy tales are brutal.
We thought Germanic ones were bad. Here's this fat lady gonna eat some children, Nah.
Baba Yaga. I love Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga.
Yeah, Baba Yaga is great.
With her hut with the chicken legs. It's amazing.
Of course, those of us who've seen The Witcher recently know a little more about that variant.
I still haven't watched it. I've watched like 4 episodes.
She's in it.
Sorry.
I mean, the writer just lifted her.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to use some of that.
Aw, I didn't know she shows up. Okay,
Yeah.
well, maybe I'll watch it.
It's worth watching. The Witcher's fun.
After I'm done watching Grimm for the 4th time.
Oh, we're still trying to get through all of Supernatural. Oh my god, I didn't realize that was like 20 years worth of my life I have to get caught up on.
We never talked about what we were drinking tonight. And Thax always has something interesting.
Okay.
Not this week.
Not this time. Oh, it's Bud White.
It's a Bud Light lime.
Shut up! Don't dare make fun of my Bud Light limes.
Why wouldn't we make fun of your Bud Light limes?
It's my one thing that I enjoy that's cheap and stupid. All right, make fun of me all you want, I guess.
I know you better than to think that that's the one thing that you enjoy that's cheap and stupid.
Sorry, I hang out with you.
I'm gonna walk away from that. I'm gonna back up. Facts continue.
So, I was having a crappy day today. A lot of headaches and tiredness because of allergies.
Yes.
So I really didn't feel like hitting the sauce tonight.
Are you drinking Dayquil straight?
I am drinking Steampunk Tea's Sweet Red.
Ooh.
Which is caramel rooibos tea.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And this is my second cup.
Nice.
And to me, I get a lot of like pipe tobacco notes or a sweet cigar smoke flavor to this, and it's awesome. I'm really liking it. I'm just huffing it.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, that one I will brew, and the whole house smells like you said, that kind of tobacco pipe scent, but it's
like
not
smoky vanilla.
Yeah, it's smoky vanilla-ish, but then there's like a kind of like a rose petal thing to it, and it's not harsh on the senses like actual smoke would be. It's like a steam.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
Yeah,
I really like it.
Much milder than actual burning tobacco would be, but the scent is there. It's really nice. I'm tempted at some future date to infuse it into a bourbon and see what I get from that.
That sounds really good. Yeah. Okay,
Well,
I'm gonna have to
that
look
weird like smoked glass bourbon thing they do. It's so weird. Went to a Christmas. My boss took us out on a Christmas party, and they had some really fancy drinks like that, and they were bringing out wood smoked bourbons. And I'm like, that. What is this? And why is this something I've never heard of? And yeah, no, I had to try one. It was fantastic. I'm like, dang, I need to make a lot more money. That's something. Or figure out how to smoke my own bourbon.
I think you can. I mean,
Yeah.
there's equipment you can buy online do all that hoity-toity stuff at home.
But it's such a process too. I'm just like, when I'm
It's easier to
drinking,
buy
I'm
it.
just like, I kind of want to get to the. There's kind of that party mentality of getting to the thing. Now, if I want to make a really cool drink, it's gonna be like a White Russian that's made with like Kahluas and like a pecan liqueur and cream. And it's this big. There's like 4 things or 5 things that go into my White Russian at this point, and it's like a pecan praline White Russian. It's fantastic.
All right, Lebowski. there are ways to get. I mean,
I
was
am
gonna say-
a Buddhist priest.
mezcal has that smoky thing to it that they managed to get in there. So I mean, you can do it. I can't stand the smell of mezcal anymore. That's
I get it.
late 90s crawling around in somebody's backyard after too much mezcal. So hands and knees, grass stains on my jeans. I don't do
I get
mezcal. But yeah, I mean that smoky essence, you can get it in there. You know, give it a try. See if you can turn yourself into a master brewer.
Yeah. Then I'd definitely be doing something else. Like, I need a job at a brewery. I'm a master brewer. What do? I brew things. Give me your boots. I'll brew them. Show you how good I am.
You're like Roger the Shrubber, but you're a brewer.
Yeasty.
Yes. That will be a thing. Why? All right. Why isn't there a steampunk brewer as a character? That just seems like a thing.
There's got to be somewhere. There is somewhere.
Yeah, there's
whether
gotta
it's
be
in
a
Mike
guy.
Riggs'
If you know a
Clockwork Universe
steampunk brewer or a guy who goes to a freaking convention as a steampunk brewer, I'll even take a Friar Tuck style steampunk monk will work for me. I need pictures. This is a thing.
Hold up now. Why are we assuming the steampunk brewer is going to be a man?
It can be a girl too. I don't mind. If she's a monkette, it's fine. I want pictures of this monkette.
Not a woman.
How would you do it? What's a feminine term for a monk?
Well, brewer. I mean, if we're talking about a brewer, then I would just go with
Brewer.
brewer. And actually, in the 6th,
brewer,
15th,
I
and 16th centuries, a lot of female brewers because people were dying from the plague at alarming amounts. So women in England, especially, were in charge of the brewing. So yeah, I can't give you specifics on it, but yeah, women were in charge of the brewing. But I mean, Mike Rigg, who does one of the Clockwork role-playing game podcasts, I guarantee there's someone in his universe who is a brewer. I guarantee it. It is a very fleshed out universe.
Male, female, of either sex. I just want a brewer. I think the steampunk brewer would be fantastic.
I know plenty of steampunk drinkers. Does that count?
There's a lot of those. That's one reason we need more brewers. That is an area that's lacking. We got too many airship pirate captains. We finally got some marshals in the world and mercenaries, and everyone wants to be a freaking pirate captain. And then there's me, who's like, I just need to be the gray guy, gangster.
We have a few librarians.
Yeah, there's a lot of steampunk
there's only a
librarians.
few of us, but yeah, there's not many of us, but we're here. We're adventurous.
I'm waiting for you guys to carry around the tomes.
Well, did you
like a belt of scrolls?
Did you hear about the raid on Mar-a-Lago where the National Archives came in?
I did. I am so waiting to hear more about that.
That book series that I told you guys about, the Invisible Library series, remember a couple of weeks ago, the new one came out. They have in the books the library strike team. And that's all I could think about. And I tweeted about it this morning. That's all I could think about when I read that article. I'm like, they sent a library strike team to bring back the 15 boxes of documents. And I could imagine them rappelling down the building in their kicky outfits, little jumpsuits, and their cat's eye glasses.
It's about as tacky sounding as the IRS having their own SWAT team. It would be the International Archives having their own SWAT team of librarians going down with like tasers and like rappelling equipment, wearing the full gear, except they're like beating instead of having like nightsticks to beat someone over the head, it's like a Charles Dickens book or something that they beat.
We have cat's eye night vision goggles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cat eye.
We'll come for you.
You turn them on and it's the shape of the eyeballs, like they're glowing green, and like beat someone over the head. Shh.
Wow. Bluestocking, what kind of red wine are you drinking?
Apothic red, just a plain old Apothic, the same as always.
Oh.
Sorry, I had class before I came in. That's why I posted I was going to come running in here sideways with my hair on fire because my class got out at 7:30.
Nice.
But we're all good. It's all good. It was a good class. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well,
this is it. No more classes after April. So yeah. Well, as long as I pass my comps. So
this is a graduation day or year.
No. If I after I pass my comps, I am approved for PhD candidacy, and then I start my dissertation.
No.
So yeah, December 2023 is when I'll be hopefully be done.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the dissertation starts soon. Everybody pray for me.
I haven't been that far up in the ladder of this. I know how a master's degree works. I haven't gone for doctoral, so I don't know how that works yet.
In America, this is how. In Europe, in like England, you get 4 years to write your dissertation. You don't have to take courses. You teach if you want to, take some seminars. You don't have to take courses. You get 4 years to write a dissertation. In America, or at least at TWU, you take 90 hours of coursework, and then you take exams, and you get a year to write your dissertation, and that includes the prospectus. So yeah. But I'll have a lot more time.
You got to do it on like 18 gallons of caffeine a day. That's just how America works.
Or a whole lot of wine.
I mean, that's how you calm down from the jitters of having so much caffeine for the first, 16 hours, 36 hours of your day.
I'm doing my best, man. This is just why I didn't have it. And I didn't want to come in here and talk about my readings for the last 2 weeks because no one wants to hear that much about open access and rhetorical theory. So.
I'm intrigued.
No. Then go to my Twitter. I've been complaining all day.
Well, I guess I'll move in before we ask you how to ask us about that more. Save you from that. I'm drinking something kind of interesting today.
Oh, good.
So I don't know if there's a name for ginger ale and rum. It's really good.
Oh, dark and stormy.
It tastes. Huh? Is it a dark and stormy?
I thought a dark and stormy was
ginger
Guinness
beer.
Ginger beer. Okay. Well, this is a ginger.
Okay.
This is a ginger ale. It's not ginger beer, nor is it an ale. But it's ginger soft drink. Say that. But I really like. I'll put a spiced rum in it, and it's fantastic. Unfortunately, didn't have ginger ale, and I couldn't get ginger ale today, so nor could I get 7-Up. So I'm falling even further down the line, and I'm going to call this apparently a dirty Captain Jack because I didn't have any other name for it. I couldn't figure anything out. I called it Captain Jack back in college. So I'm using Sprite, and this is it's good.
No.
It's good. It's just a little sweeter than normal. I probably would go with a drier rum in this case, but it's still good.
I mean, Sprite's a good mixer because you can't really taste anything, but still,
I like. But the thing is I like not as sweet things, so I'll go with a rum and like a 7-Up, which is fantastic. Or I don't like straight seltzer; it's a little weird. But ginger ale to me has enough of the flavors in it that makes it really good. It kind of gives me that essence of when you put Jaeger and root beer together. It is an entirely different drink. No, okay, so I see y'all guys are looking funny. There is something about the flavor palette that goes like this, and you get like a weird. All right, it's not weird. It's just this rainbow of flavors that come across, and it's not terrible. It's really good. It's the way to drink it.
Okay, you know the mezcal story? Same thing with Jaegers.
I haven't drank Jaeger since one certain day back in college either.
Yeah, I haven't had Jaeger since the 90s, and I made bad decisions and got tattoos. So.
At this point in time, I just go straight to NyQuil.
Oh, well, I mean, actually, red NyQuil is not that far off from Jaeger, so.
It's just, it tastes better because it doesn't taste like freaking licorice. If Jaeger didn't taste like licorice, one reason I mix it with root beer, the licorice flavor is weird. It's completely different.
See, I like the licorice flavor, though.
Yeah, here we come. We come into the whole talking about what is that very steampunk absinthe. All right, absinthe is very
wormwood. Yeah.
It is
If it's got the
straight
wormwood in it.
licorice that looks like you broke a highlighter into it. And I will admit that I've tried to
It's
like
the
it.
wormwood. The wormwood does that. It has a very, yeah.
I don't know
You
if
don't
I'm
like
doing
it?
it right or wrong though with the sugar cube. I don't get it. I don't understand. I've tried to
You put the
follow
slotted
instructions.
spoon over the top.
I
You put the
got
sugar
I got
spoon.
certain parts
You
of
get
my
the cold
anatomy stuck in a
water.
fan. It didn't work. I don't
Have you watched
I don't
Moulin
understand
Rouge?
how
They show
people
you how to
drink
do
that
it.
and like it. Dax is over here going, I don't know what I just heard.
You're a mess.
So maybe I just need someone to either explain to me how to drink it or set it up and let me see it like the tea service that it should be served as. It sounds like. It
You
sounds like
take the
there's a
absinthe
process to it.
liqueur. It's in a jar. You put the slotted spoon over your cup. You put the sugar cube on the slotted spoon. Then you take the cold. It needs to be cold water. Shaq's just shaking his head. I've always heard it cold water.
Absinthe first. Then you
In
light
the
the
cup.
sugar cube on fire.
That's okay. Yeah. Sorry. I missed that
And then
part. Yeah.
and then you pour the cold
The
water
cold water.
to put the fire out and
And-
it all goes in.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that
fire-
part.
Is necessary to caramelize the sugar to get
Yeah.
to cut the absinthe flavor, which is horrible.
See, that's where I got messed up and got parts of my anatomy stuck in a fan.
But also remember, and I don't know if this is still the case, but it used to be the case that absinthe with the wormwood as a hallucinogenic was not legal in America. So
Mhm.
you'd have to order it from like Amsterdam or someplace like
Yeah.
that. I don't know if that's changed because I haven't looked into buying any in like 20 years since I was with my second
Has
husband.
not
But
changed. You can get
Yeah.
absinthe that is done with a wood very similar to it. You can't get traditional absinthe yet. They're trying to figure out a way to still do. They've brewed it through wormwood that was not with the spores or the
Okay.
without the mushrooms on it. And it's just, as I understand it, it has the flavor, but it's not there.
somebody in America is doing it. You just have to figure out who it is and how you
I
get
got to
a hold
find
of
the bootlegger absinthe makers.
It really
Yet again, there's another steampunk
bathtub
business
absinthe.
opportunity.
if you're trying to get a psychedelic, we've got plenty to choose from here already.
I know.
Just
I gotta
saying.
have it looking like urine and tasting like licorice with like flaming sugar.
What's more
and tap
steampunk
water.
than bathtub absinthe? Come on.
Austin tap
It
water.
might
to put it
blind
out.
you or it might make you see fairies, but either way, it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it'll blind me and I see fairies. Where I'm going, I don't need eyes to
Wait a
see.
minute. Your journey is only just begun.
Jack, did you have any homework tonight?
No, this is my homework. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay, I
We've
just wanted to
wasted
make
so
sure
much
we weren't
time.
skipping over.
Actually,
anything.
I do have something cool to show you, made yet again by my favorite woodworking friend. He gave me a Christmas present, and it took until about, early February to get here because the USPS. But he gave me a wonderful wood-burned
Aww.
ornament for the
Mr.
tree
Pink.
I just put up. So it's going to sit right over here on my wanted poster.
Love it.
Nice.
So
Nice work,
you
Meg.
guys anybody would be interested. It comes
Very
from
cool.
Greek gods giggling.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there
Very
we go.
cool.
Yep. It has its spot right there. Ta-da.
That was your homework.
That was my homework.
Thanks. How'd you do?
Let's see if I can do this.
Am I the only one that came with homework?
No.
Hey, I have an excuse.
No, I don't. I'm not.
Yes.
Excused.
New movie or new? Is it a movie? TV
Yes,
show?
it's a movie, and I've been meaning to watch it. Thank you.
Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley.
Guillermo del Toro.
It's mostly turn of the century, paranormal, and a little bit of steampunk. I haven't seen it. I just saw the preview, but it looks kind of cool. Wondered if you guys knew anything more about it, or thought we'd take a few minutes just to talk about it.
I have not seen or heard of this. This is now on my radar.
I have definitely heard of it. I just haven't had time. I keep seeing the ad for it, and I want to go in and watch it because it's on Prime, I think, Amazon Prime. So I need to. It looks badass, and Guillermo del Toro does amazing work. Have you watched it yet?
No, I just, I'm last minute looking through stuff at work going, oh, I could talk about that if I knew anything about it.
Well,
I still haven't
should we
watched the
make that
Aeronaut yet, so
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, should we make this our homework to watch this and report back on the next?
that sounds like a
I mean,
fun idea. We can try it.
It's 2 hours. We have 2 weeks. We're all gonna wait until Tuesday morning at 8:00 to watch it, but I do want to see it, and this gives me a
Watch
push
on double speed before I go to work.
This gives me a push to get in there and watch it because I want to see it. It looks fantastic. I think it's diesel punk setting more, but it looks really amazing.
It's sort of
From
on
that
that
1920s
border, right?
architecture.
Yeah,
I don't know how technically steampunk it's going to be or diesel punk. It just sort of fits in that time period, and the things that are coming out right now are more historical.
Yeah.
Fairies.
They would have you.
Yeah, I still need to get. Is there a trailer yet for Carnival Row?
No, I
There's
haven't
not
seen
yet.
anything
Okay.
about it. Hey, I was shocked to find out they were still trying to make it. So,
Yeah, we talked about it last time. I was shocked they were trying to make it, so I'm waiting for a trailer. Matt and I watched the first episode of Gilded Age, and it was gorgeous, an absolute spectacle. But we've got 2 episodes stacked up to catch up with. But I think it's going to be really beautiful. So that is, it's the old money versus the new money in late 19th century New York, and that was a bananas time.
Oh yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. Like I said, we watched the first episode, really good. Everybody, the cast seems fantastic so far. So that's going to be exciting because it was a weird time to be in New York. We had the old money, the Dutch from the 17th century, and we had the robber barons coming in from the 19th century with all their money but no class. And they just wanted to be.
You mean the Bitcoin people of today?
Actually, you know what? If we're looking for a comparison, I mean, the robber barons they were generally, it was the bootstrap philosophy. It was the dudes that pulled themselves up, made a whole lot of money, and they just spent it on the most ridiculous, extravagant things that they could. That ventures into politics.
Much
so
like people are doing with Bitcoin these days.
Let's talk about it. I'm thinking
Trump's
about
gold
Bezos.
apartment. Trump's entirely gold apartment.
Tacky.
That is what New Money Gilded Age was doing. New Money Gilded Age was.
I was thinking about Bezos's new mega yacht.
Bridge.
Oh God!
He's having a.
Is it shaped like his rockets?
No, he's trying to destroy a bridge in
bridge
the Netherlands.
Netherlands assembled so that they can get through because his boat is too big.
When your ship is literally bigger than a naval military cruiser, you got a problem. You got too much money.
But it's it's Netherlands, right, or Amsterdam. It is old. It is an old bridge, and his boat can't get through the canal, so they're going to
It's a whole new level of compensation.
Are they going to put it back together after he's on the other side?
I don't know, but protesters are losing their minds about it. So that's essentially the Gilded Age. I mean, it's new money versus old, and people like Bezos and Trump
and
and
a little bit, push it under the bridge. It's fine.
It's Jeff Bezos. He does what he wants.
When you have more money than about 40% of the world's governments,
if you can take apart a bridge, but you can't let your workers unionize and pay them a living wage, then there is a problem. But
considering that if he paid everybody from the beginning of COVID, was it 2020 to 2021 for 1 year, he could have paid everyone $144,000 for the entire year as a salary, and it wouldn't have changed his amount of money for the entire year.
He had to go to space. He had to beat Elon Musk and Richard Branson to space.
And he didn't. He did not beat them.
Richard Branson, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they are all trying to fight each other to get to
The race to space
the
for
atmosphere.
for billionaires, and yet we still have starving children in America.
Flint
And
has
the
no clean
punchline
water
is-
still.
NASA
That still
did it
gets me.
decades
I
ago.
know,
Has the amount of money that what was his name? He
but
has
NASA
a
has no money
newspaper,
now.
and he ran for Democratic
NASA has as much
presidency.
money as we want to give them.
Wait,
I mean,
who, Jack?
if any of these people who decide to run for office are spending millions of dollars on ad revenue, can you imagine going into like Flint, Michigan and fixing their water? You all of a sudden have a city and or a state that is willing to vote for you now.
But that's not
Like-
the point, because that's not going to give you a legacy.
I mean, your legacy just started, technically.
Your
Before
legacy
you even
says,
hit
"I'm cool. I
presidency.
went to space." I'm just
I
saying,
know.
there's.
I know.
You know what y'all know what I'm talking about historically.
I'm now
Why
in the
fix
history
the
book
little
as
problems?
this guy.
Why fix the small problems when you can do something like shoot your ass into space, and
And then
people
some
will
Captain
remember
Kirk
it?
right after you.
Mark Twain coined the term "the Gilded Age" to
Oh.
describe what we would say today: you can't polish a turd.
Thank you. Ding
True.
ding ding.
We gild
I mean, he
gild
said it
stupid
better.
stuff that should not be
That's the-
gilded.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it's but nothing changed. I mean, but it shows nothing changes. The
Yeah.
song
Yeah.
remains the same. We went
What we
through.
need
We've
to
gone
do
through
is-
our 20s. We've gone through the depression. We're going through our depression. And it all recycles. It always does. This is a much longer conversation about the cycles of history, but human beings, y'all, we don't change.
We don't change. Everyone thinks we changed. I'm like, have you noticed how fast like humanity evolves? For one, it's not that fast.
We're evolving faster than we can understand the technology that we're creating, and that's the problem. Once the industrial era hit in the mid 1800s, we started evolving our technology faster than our brains could comprehend, and so that is why we have TikTok.
We used to have this thing where it would take about every 20 years a new thing would emerge, a new technology, and then it would take it about 50 to 100 years to cross all the oceans and become normal. And now we can't.
And now we have people making nachos on a countertop for a TikTok video. I'm just saying.
I mean, even I make stupid YouTube videos of gaming. I mean, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's great. I'm learning a skill if I ever get hired by anyone who wanted like movie stuff done. But yeah, no, it's my art. And some people decided I'm going to pour nachos on a counter is art.
I'm just saying. It's not that.
And now I'm going to sell it as an NFT for $150,000.
Your art is the good side. Me taking videos of my giant fat orange cat snoring.
You know,
Yeah,
the
that's
problem
the
is
other
you're going to
side.
get more hits than I am.
Honestly,
Like,
yeah.
a
Brax brings in the
fraction of the time it takes me to edit.
Brax's milkshake brings all the viewers to the yard. I can't help it. He's a thick boy, and everybody loves him.
You know, I should just. Anytime you want me to take video of your cat, I'll edit it for you and make it funny. I will do it. We will make it. I'll do that weird like lighting effect that Obama had, where it was like the 3 different colors, and we'll put something funny under him, and it'll be great.
Oh, you just put it on his belly because that's usually how he lands.
Pet me.
Pretty much, yeah.
Extravagant.
Oh no,
Karma horror.
that's my guy. 13 and fabulous.
Oh, that there's your tagline.
Well, I
Oh,
think
I
we
did
managed to
find-
fill an hour. How are y'all doing?
I did find one more steampunky thing
Okay.
before we go. Do you guys watch Lucifer?
Yes.
Lucifer.
I've watched all of it.
I haven't finished the final season because I can't, because I don't want it to be over. Why? What did you?
So the main character is played by an actor named Tom Ellis, right?
Yes, he was in Doctor
Yeah.
Who. Yes, love him.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
The Martha Jones episodes where she's walking across the earth to find the things that will destroy the Doctor, and she comes back to England, and the guy that's waiting with the boat, Tom.
Oh,
See, unless
That's
he's
him.
like, "Hello, detective," I'm not gonna care.
Yeah, he was the guy that picked her up on the shore and brought her into the Resistance in Britain. Yeah.
What do you truly desire?
So he's
Wait,
got a new
really?
role as a steampunk inventor
We know.
Oh my god.
in
Oh.
the show. I guess it's
Really?
called Washington Black.
When is this? When is this a thing?
It's on Hulu. Nice.
On Hulu, right? So I'm gonna have to steal it somehow. But
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
probably
Based
help
on the
out.
novel of the same name by S.C. Oh, I can't pronounce that. Eduya?
Wigan.
Okay. Washington Black follows the 19th century adventures of an 11-year-old George Washington, Wash Black, who was forced to flee the Barbados sugar plantation he grew up on after a shocking death threat to upend his life. So, cool.
So it's about a slave that escapes from Haiti and becomes an inventor, and
And
Lucifer gets
apparently,
involved.
yeah, he hooks up.
And Lucifer gets involved. That's all I care to hear.
Sugar
We're done.
plantation.
Tom
Good.
Ellis, yeah.
Hitch on a remarkable
Okay,
journey
so
across
yeah.
the sky with young George Washington Black at his side.
Oh, that
So
sounds
I guess
interesting.
they're on the run together.
Yeah, he's on the run with a Haitian slave or Haitian runaway slave. Okay, that sounds interesting. Yeah, I love him. He is. Like I said, I haven't watched the second half of the final season of Lucifer. So I can't.
It's good. I mean,
Stop.
they do close pretty much every
I know. I
every
have
story.
a problem.
They had the time to do it. They did it right.
I
but
have
I'm
a problem
with
with
you.
ending shows.
I don't like shows ending. I'm pissed off when shows don't get their due, and then I'm also annoyed when they end. It's.
I mean, some shows do get their due. Grimm, it ended well. Fringe, gorgeous ending,
Mhm.
perfect. I was sad to see it go, but the ending was brilliant. Some shows get the ending that they're due, but it doesn't matter. I just don't want to see him go.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I don't like the idea of not having him running around with the detective. It's kind of like the whole Sherlock Holmes problem. They could. The guy who wrote it tried to end the series like four different books.
Yeah,
and each
Conan
time
Doyle,
it's like, this is the last Sherlock
kept,
Holmes book I'm writing, and then I know this is. I seriously think that I say this is my last one, but then it just keeps going.
Arthur Conan Doyle had a whole lot more going on, though. He got embroiled in the whole Cottingley fairy photos scandal. So, yeah, Arthur Conan Doyle had a lot more going on than, yeah. Do you not know about the fairy photo scandal?
I did not know.
Mm-mm.
Okay, if you, I think it's
Give us scandals
Cottingley.
from the 1800s.
I think it's I'm not sure. It's Cottingham or Cottingley. A group of two girls came forward and they captured fairies on photo plates. And
I'm aware of that story.
Well, Conan Doyle was one of the ones that was insisting that it was real.
Oh.
Yeah. And then it was revealed that it was not. And also Houdini and Conan Doyle, if you look them up, the whole thing about Conan Doyle believing in the supernatural and Houdini specifically did not because he thought it was a scam and people were getting hurt. And those two and their
wasn't that the time where mediums were big too?
Late 18th century, early 20th century.
And even Sherlock Holmes fights that in one of his stories where he basically proves it's wrong or proves
Doyle had a big belief in the supernatural. I don't know if he was specifically a theosophist. I don't know if he specifically followed Madame Blavatsky, but he definitely believed in the supernatural and the ability to speak to people beyond the grave. And so that's how he got caught up in the fairy photo scandal, because he said they were real and they were not. They were two incredibly talented little girls, but they were not real. Yeah. Early Photoshop. Yeah.
First TikTokers.
They were very talented memers in a time when that wasn't quite there yet. Yeah.
I mean, not just them. This whole period had fake spiritualists out the wazoo because it's an easy way to make quick money.
Well, and people figured out that you could take, the early photography, you could take those plates. Not the tin types, but the plates, the glass plates, and you could manipulate them and create all sorts of really amazing stuff. That's where a lot of the ghost photography comes from. early photography was very easily manipulable.
Yeah, people wanted to play with it after the
Yeah.
fact that we can take a picture of it, but what else can we do now? It's time.
What can we add onto the edges around here?
We need Adobe.
Yeah, early photographers, there was some amazing stuff that came out of them because they were playing with the plates, which is how you end up with, like I said,
take a picture. Go like this.
Spirit photography, you know, around the edges. But we also had Victorian photos of children who had passed away because they wanted to keep a photo. Yeah, so Victorian photography was bonkers. It was amazing. It was so incredible.
Go look up pictures on Victorian photography of dead people, and there's a lot of them online.
Yeah, well, Victorians were big on death, though. That's how it was.
Those aren't trick photography.
No,
that's just taking a picture with the dead person.
They kill people for those pictures, man.
Those are real. But there was photos of the dead people that were manipulated to turn into spirit photography with things around the edges.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans going on with photography.
Yeah, you could mess with the chemicals during the time when they scrape things around and whatnot, and it would do different.
Depending on how you expose the image and what you could put onto it. Yeah.
I got to play with some of that actually in art when I was taking art classes, and we did photo of it's a paint that changes colors when hit with light, and so you put shadowy stuff or something. You cover your sheet with different styles of objects. So I had like a grate, and then I had solid objects. Then I had something that where light would barely come through, and you'd manipulate it over your board, and then you would put light on it, and it would do some really cool stuff. And it was litho. No, it's the shadow one. I can't remember what that's called.
I don't know.
They did a lot like in those big science spectrum type buildings where they'd have like the flash bulb on the wall, and you'd stand against the wall and you'd move and you'd see your shadow stuck on the wall.
Like the Hiroshima, Hiroshima and Nagasaki shadow.
Yeah, but it was like a glow. But the wall had that ability to absorb light, and so it showed your shadow, and it looked like you were a victim of being evaporated.
Not quite so permanent.
Y'all, we have run over.
We have.
And so I need to shout out to our patrons who are helping us keep the lights on here. We'd like to thank the Dowager Duchess Claire Bear, Jenny Ryan Shaver, Kitty Vincent, and of course, Rita and Lawrence Allen. Lawrence, I hope you got off the roof safely.
Yes, we do.
If not, we want to hear the funny story.
Yes, please share it with us so we can tell it next episode.
You can always find us and send comments to us on Facebook at Texas Steampunk Connection. You can email us at texassteampunkconnection@gmail.com. You can find our podcast at texassteampunkconnection.podbean.com. And now we're much more active on Twitter at TX Steampunk Connect 1. Thanks to Blue Stocking, who is using that as an excuse not to do her homework.
And
our
also,
music is brought to you by Zapsplat.com. And yes?
Oh,
yes.
We're also going to be on Rumble this week.
What the hell is Rumble?
Rumble. So Rumble is the new YouTube without all the boundaries.
Okay. Is this an alt-right thing? Or are we safe? Is this like Parler or Telegram?
No, it's not an alt-right thing. It literally is. Essentially everyone who's getting pissed off with all the problems on YouTube are moving over to it. So YouTubers that got their sites closed down because of stupid stuff are moving over there. I know it's now in the news because stuff going on, but I just want to mention that I have opened it up, and essentially as they get posted on YouTube on steamchest.com, Steamchest YouTube, they will be porting over to Rumble for those of you who want to be on Rumble to watch it.
Cool. Very cool.
Thanks,
so
Jack.
We're all over the place.
We are everywhere.
We're trying to be everywhere. If we're not at a place that you think we ought to be, go ahead.
I'm not doing TikTok, y'all.
Right there, we're done. We don't say anything else.
Where we're going with that.
We can do videos of Jack dancing on TikTok, but that's as far as I go.
Okay. So thank you all for tuning in. We will be back here in another 2 weeks after Valentine's Day. And yeah, mind your gauges.
Mind your gauges.